Gerry Hogan here of Gerry Hogan Sales Training and 3D Business Consultancy. Just speaking to my dear friend and video marketing expert, Andy Phillips, this nice Friday, November afternoon. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing great.
Good stuff. And you're keeping well?
I'm keeping really well, yeah. It's been a lovely day today, and I've sort of been out for a nice little walk and stuff like that, so it's been pretty good.
Good stuff, right. Tell me all about, you're doing an upcoming workshop, is that correct?
Yeah, we've got a workshop coming up on the 12th of Feb, and it's all about video marketing, and it's really interesting what's happened over the last, I think, couple of years when I think a lot of people have now realised, a lot of businesses have now realised that video is a really, really powerful way to not just get traffic to come to a site, but also to convert people. And it's one of those things that people find very, very confusing. I think they overcomplicate things and find very, very confusing. I don't know if you find that, but you know, it's one of those things that, you know, whenever I talk to clients about, you know, why don't you try some video marketing? I go, oh no, it's a bit expensive video, so, you know, or it's too complicated to do. You know, you've got to understand what sort of equipment to use, and it's all about editing and things like that. And I don't think they realise just how easy it is nowadays. Obviously, there's some techniques that we use. We obviously use techniques for filming, you know. So we have some good ways of filming in the first place. There's some techniques of actually scripting it or structuring videos. There's different techniques of using video in different situations. But the point is, you know, understanding some of these techniques, the actual application of them is really quite simple. You know, the technology's never been easier than it is right now. I mean, some of the cameras that we can get hold of nowadays are just stunningly easy to use and incredibly high quality. So, you know, I think it's one of those things where people realise, or are beginning to realise, that video is definitely a fantastic way of driving traffic. It's a great way of converting people. It's a great way of keeping people within your system, you know, your sales funnel or whatever you're doing. But they are a bit frightened of it. I don't know. Do you find the same sort of thing?
You know what, Andy? Absolutely. I mean, I think there's so many questions that I think anyone listening, if they've got any fears or kind of doubts about video or what to do or where to begin, I mean, I've got them myself. So, I mean, I've got so many questions I could ask you myself, really. I mean, first of all, I mean, what equipment would I need?
Well, equipment nowadays, I mean, it's got so cheap, and it really depends what you want to try and achieve with it, because video can be used in so many different parts of the business. But let's start at the beginning. I mean, if you're going to start doing things like video squeeze pages, for instance, which is a really good way of getting targeted traffic to understand sort of maybe some quite complex things that you do within your business. I mean, a lot of businesses find it very difficult to relay information very quickly, and so what they tend to do, they tend to write a lot on their websites. And the problem is that people don't read this stuff anymore. You know, we see that high bounce rates on websites purely because there's loads of text, and it's quite boring. And what people really want is instant information, and video is a fantastic way of relaying instant information and quite complex information, but very, very quickly. You know, don't forget, it's a TV generation now, Gerry. It's we have people who have been brought up on the TV and films and things like that, and they just want information quickly. But video is such a great way of doing it. So what we do is we put video on the front page of sites, because it's almost like introducing yourself very, very, very fast to anybody who's on that site. And we found, and it's proven, that when someone goes to a website, they are more likely to hang around and take some sort of action if there's a genuinely good video on there. So a video that actually is talking to someone, like where if you've got someone who's looking straight at the camera and talking from the heart and talking to the client directly, but concisely, then the conversion rates on those sites are huge. compared with standard sites with just got text on them. So it's important that we understand how to use the video well, and so that first step into video could be just a video on the front page of your site telling people what to do, basically. So it's a really good way of conveying great information very quickly, and it catches people on that site, and that's exactly what we want to do. Otherwise, we do get huge bounce rates. We get people going to a website and flipping straight out of it again. So that's the very first one. Is that using the equipment for those sort of things is just a simple camera like a ZI-8 or a ZI-10, a Play Touch. They're about $100. As long as you've got it on a tripod and you've got enough light and the sound quality is okay, you haven't got a lot of traffic going past or a lot of people talking in the background, it can be very, very engaging. And that's $100 for a camera. It's so cheap. But very, very effective. So, equipment you can use is low cost, and the quality of it nowadays. I mean, you've seen some of the quality of the videos I've done, and a lot of that stuff is done on pretty low cost cameras. We don't really spend a lot of money on cameras and things like that because we don't need to anymore. And one of the things I do more than anything else is I tend to use the equipment that I tell my customers to use. There's no point me using a $10,000 camera when I'm telling people to buy a $100 camera. We tend to use the same sort of things like editing software and things like that. We tend to go for the same sort of products as our clients use because, as I say, it's I'm showing people my videos and I want them to attain the same sort of quality because it is pretty simple to do. It's just it's technique. That's all it is really.
For sure. And I guess Andy, a lot of people with videos, I find some of the clients I deal with myself, if they're the older generation, they're not sure about looking natural. They wonder to themselves. I spoke to someone recently and he said to me, "Oh, Gerry, I really want to do a video. I'm thinking of kind of setting time aside to do a video, kind of a big day, a big shoot, but I'm worried about, how can I look natural? What can I do?"
It's quite a problem when we first start or when people first start. And again, there are some techniques, and it's one of the things I talk about on the actual day because it's important. A good video can live or die on how good you look in front of a camera. And I think people get so hung up with this thing that I've got to get it absolutely perfect, and you absolutely don't. People want to see people. People want to see genuine people. They want people to talk from the heart. And one technique that I've used extensively with my clients, which has really helped, is to get them to not script it. We just work on some bullet points because what I found is that when people actually try and remember everything they've got to say, it sounds quite stilted. And there's a big mistake that a lot of people do is when they do a video, they do a video on the video camera that's on the laptop, for instance. And what you often find is they're reading the script because they're not confident in themselves to be able to do that. And as soon as we sort of take them, what I consider outside their comfort zone, and say, okay, well, just have 3 bullet points you're going to talk about. You can remember the 3 bullet points. And then just talk from the heart and talk to the camera, look straight in the lens and talk to the person at the other side of the camera. But just talk from the heart about those 3 bullet points. And the transformation is amazing. Because people do know their business. We've got to realise that they do actually know what they're talking about. If someone's been in business for a few years or even just starting a business, they really truly have passion about what they're doing. And that shines through on video. And that's what sells more than anything else. So again, it's just some techniques that might sound like it's uncomfortable. What you do is you liberate yourself. I discovered this quite a few years ago when I first started doing videos. I was doing scripted videos. I was trying to remember everything that I've got to say because I thought it was so important, and it's absolutely not. It's just you've got to tell people the relevant things. You can always edit some things together, and there's also some really cool editing techniques, so you don't have to do video all the way through. And I share that on the day as well.
Good stuff. So, I mean, I guess, with a lot of people as well, Andy, and it's a question I had of myself as well, you know, you can create all these videos. I mean, you know, I could go out today, maybe create 10 videos, tomorrow have 10, but I guess with a lot of people, it's all about being found. Things are very competitive now. So, I mean, to anyone listening, or even to myself as well, you know, what do you do to optimize your videos? What can I do to make sure, you know, Gerry Hogan or Andy Phillips or anyone else who's listening, that they can get found, their videos are at the top of the search engines?
Well, I mean, it's very interesting that you say that, because people do actually have this perception that it's incredibly competitive, and it doesn't matter what they do, they're never going to get found. The reality of it is that if you use some simple techniques on the descriptions and titles and things like that, and we talk about how we can optimize them for search engines, how we can optimize video for search engines, it's amazing the amount of videos that can be found for certain keywords. And it's not that difficult. And the weird thing is that people have perceptions about a lot of things, and those perceptions aren't always true. And what we do is we often bust a lot of myths on these days. And it helps people tremendously, because you know what it's like in the sales, you know, when you've got this impression of something, and suddenly to find out years that perception isn't true. And all that time you've been living under that perception. And it's exactly the same with video. We find it quite extensively with video, this perception of what is actually happening, and what Google thinks, and how it's perceived by Google. And the truth of the matter is that if you actually look within your own niche, whatever business you're in, the competition there is not as strong as you think it is. And when you use some specific techniques, which we show you on the day, you'll be surprised how many videos can be found. And the great thing is that you know, this perception that there's so much competition normally comes from facts like about 48 hours of video is actually uploaded to YouTube every single minute. So you have this perception that there's so much going up, you'll never get found. The truth is, the way Google works and the way YouTube works is all on keywords, which basically means if you understand keywords, which we talk about on the day, you can get your videos on page 1 of Google. In fact, you've got a 50 times better chance of getting your video on page 1 than your website. Now that is amazingly powerful. If you could do that and create a number of videos, because we do talk about building quite a number of videos and not being shy of it, because that's how you're going to get found. That's how you're going to get found. It's how you're going to drive traffic to your site. And then you can couple that with ways of creating video for your site, which converts people. So there are two different types of video. You can create video to drive traffic. You can also create video to convert people. And you can also create video to sell to people on autopilot. And I think that is really, really special. And again, it doesn't matter what sort of business you're in. A lot of people think that it's going to be, you have to have some sort of digital download product, but a lot of my customers are not online customers. They're tangible businesses, you know, businesses in the high street, furniture shops, you know, that sort of thing. And they use, I've shown them how to use video in a specific way, which has just boosted their sales. I mean, a lot of our clients have seen a dramatic upturn in conversion, in lead generation, and in sales, because we're targeting specific people who want exactly what they do. And again, it's the beauty of the internet, and it's the beauty of video. It's just a wonderful, wonderful way of actually creating much more business for any company. And that's why we're putting this day on, because a lot of businesses don't get it straight away. As soon as they come to one of our days, we've done these before, when they walk out of there, they've suddenly, it's like having some sort of revelation happen, you know. That's why we call it Video Marketing Revealed, because we are revealing the concepts and the secrets of video marketing. And once people get into it and really start understanding the psychology of it as well, their lead generation just goes through the roof. The conversions they get on their site just goes through the roof. And that's why people go.
Good stuff, excellent stuff. I was speaking to somebody a couple of days ago about video, actually, and they told me that at the moment, from their own clients, the most powerful thing that's coming back to them is the use of video for testimonial reasons.
Mm.
Can you explain that to me a little bit more, Andy?
Yeah, the weird thing about video is that you can create loads of different types of videos for different situations. One of the things I talk about on the workshop is a concept of bridge to offer sequence, and it's one of those things that we've used for quite a few years now, and it's been an amazing success for all the companies that have used it. We use it ourselves. We use it all the time now, and really what it's about is if you in sales, I mean, you're a sales guy, Gerry, and you understand that a new client needs a certain amount of touches of your business before they feel safe or feel as if they can trust you enough to put their hand in the pocket and pay some money for a product or a service. A lot of people talk about it takes around about sort of 7 touches of a business before someone's happy enough to pay money for things. Now, if you're doing that in the physical world, that can take quite a long time to do, because that means that people have either got to come in to see you or have a meeting with you, see you at an event, or see you speak in front of a room or something like that. So it's all physical and it takes time to happen. The magic that happens on something like the bridge to offer sequence, for instance, at the back end of your site, if someone's put some details into an opt-in box, you can send them an email which says, go and watch this video about, a subject. And one of those things could be testimonial videos. Now, testimonial videos provide social proof. And social proof in sales is incredibly important because it's other people telling you that this product's good. It's not the company themselves that are telling you, it's someone else, like a client who's telling you that this service is good. Now, you may see a few of these. You can also do things like case studies. Now, a case study is almost like a testimonial, but it's looking at how you helped a client. And again, it's social proof. And these sort of things are incredibly powerful. And it sort of goes towards that 7 touches of your business. You can do that almost on autopilot, in fact, completely on autopilot. So people actually have 7 touches of your business, or a number of touches of your business, without you actually seeing them physically in the real world. Because people are seeing these things like they're seeing testimonials, other people giving social proof about your product or your service. And that's good. That's really good. And if you've got those sort of things on YouTube, but you've also got them on the back end of your site, then you start to get people to know you, like you, and trust you much quicker, which means you get to the point of sale a lot quicker. And that can mean the difference between, hitting targets one month and not hitting targets. It really gets down to as black and white as that for most companies. So, that's a really, really powerful side of the testimonials, the case studies, and all those sort of things. And we actually go into a bit about how to get the best type of testimonials, because there is like everything else, there's like different techniques that you can use, and we go through a lot of these techniques on the day as well. Wow.
Seems like it's going to be a stunning day. One thing I wanted to ask you, Andy.
Yes.
In terms of videos, anytime I ever watch a video clip of anything, the one thing I always kind of like listen to or take note of is kind of music in the background.
Oh, right, yeah.
For me, that's just, a kind of a personal thing. For other people listening as well, it could be the same. So, do you find that music can increase the effectiveness of videos, or what's your take on that?
On certain videos, absolutely it can. Yeah, the thing is that people use music wrongly sometimes, and it can distract you on the video. What we found is with certain types of videos, because there's lots of different types of video you can create, as I've said, for different types or different parts of your business. But if you're doing something like a lead generation video, and that is probably one of the most important types of video, the use of music can really make a lot more impact into what you're saying. But you have to use it wisely, and it is something which I do actually talk about, because it can really make a dramatic difference to the impact and the conversion rate of that video. Because let's face it, Gerry, everything is about conversion. Everything is about selling. Everything is about making money. Everything is about building leads. You know, all the techniques that we use for creating video, distributing video, the sort of scripting of videos, all those things are geared towards one thing: understanding the psychology of a client, of a customer, and getting the best return on investment from them. That's what everything is about. It's about building leads and sales and building reputation. One of the biggest things that I talk about is reputation building, and video can do that hugely. I mean, it's an amazing way of actually building your reputation online, because you can do things like social proof videos, you can do testimonials and things like that. But those lead generation videos with a little bit of music at the background, the right sort of music, can really make a massive difference. I'm going to give you an example. I did something the other day where I was selling the concept of people coming to a webinar. And it was a video about the webinar and what we're going to talk about on the webinar and what sort of opportunities that can arise from the webinar. And I was going out to businesses, and I was really trying to tell them that if they don't use some of these techniques, not just video, but email marketing and mobile marketing and other techniques, other online techniques, that they're going to find it very difficult nowadays because of the economic climate. And it's absolutely true. And when I said something like there's now another 100,000 people have just been made unemployed, bringing the total of young people very close to the 1 million mark. And what I did, I changed the music. I put some sort of dramatic classical music just in the background. And when you watch that video, something happens inside you. You know, it's a bit like the music on a film, you know, a movie. Music can really make or break a movie. And some clever use of music within a video can really dramatically hit a point home. And loads of people said, you know, when I saw that, I thought, I've got to come on this webinar. You know, a lot of people that were on that webinar I spoke to afterwards, they said, well, it's your video. And I said, what was it about the video? I said, oh, I don't know. It was just like, you know, it really said something to me. I really needed to get on that webinar. And when you analyse it, what it was the use of the words, what I was saying, the looking directly in the camera, talking from the heart, and the use of dramatic music when I needed it. And it was just, it was in the background. You could hardly hear it, but it really does make an impact. So, you know, little techniques and little tricks like that we talk about on the day, because it is very, very important to just understand the psychology of some of this stuff, because a lot of this is about psychology. It's not all about technology. Technology is easy. You know, you can easily film something, you can easily upload it. It's not that difficult to do. You can put them on your website. It's not difficult to put video on websites nowadays. What is needed is the understanding of the psychology of video and video marketing, which is, again, what we talk about extensively on the day. I want people to really, truly understand why they're doing it and how and what sort of impact it can have on a client. And as I've said, everything is about, you know, the return. It's about conversion. It's about lead generation. It's about how many more sales you make. And as I say, YouTube and Google love video. You know, well, Google loves video, and they love YouTube because they bought them. So.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess the key is that once you've got visitors to your website or web page, you need to get them to take action, and video is a massive thing that can, you know, it's a massive conversion to get people to take action.
It's one of the things that is, it's almost, when we take it into companies and we show them how this works, it's almost like magic. The conversion rates go through the ceiling if you do it right. And that's the point. I've seen some video on some sites that are just quite poor, and it's only because they haven't really thought about the impact that the video is making on clients. And that's what we show you on the day is, you know, how to get the most impact from a video. And it doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to be Steven Spielberg. You know, there are some basic things that you need to do on a video, especially a lead generation video. And as you say, you know, when people go to a website and they see a video on there, they are compelled to click on it. And if you've got it right, and as I say, they're simple techniques, but if you've got it right, people take action. And if people take action, you've created a lead. If you create a load of leads, you get a load of sales, and that is the whole point of it. Creating the leads creates the sales, because you're targeting the right people, the people who are interested in what you do. And that is the most important point.
Excellent stuff, excellent stuff. I guess, people, small business owners, Andy, or entrepreneurs are actually more established businesses, traditional businesses that have been going for years and years. There's probably a few reasons they haven't kind of bought into video. So there's probably, like, I guess for want of a better word, there's a few myths involved. So like video, it takes technical skills, or it's expensive, or it's a complicated thing to do. But these are some of the things that you discuss on the day as well.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing that I've found over the years why people don't take video up, in fact, don't take a lot of online marketing up, is because they think it does take too much time. For instance, it's too complicated, it's expensive, and these are myths. It doesn't take that much time. It's quite easy to do. If you've got the right direction, and that's what really the whole point of the day is about, giving people the correct direction. But if you've got the right direction, you've got the right attitude towards it, you don't need a lot of technical skills. It's never been easier to build a video. I mean, kids do it. It's not difficult to do. It's not expensive anymore. It used to be, to buy a good camera, you'd have to spend $1,000 easily to get a decent camera. And now you can get, my most expensive camera, in fact, I'm sitting here looking at it right now, is, that cost me about, it's about £400. It was actually 390 quid or something like that. And, I do almost everything on it, everything that I want, absolute top quality, I do on that. It's just a Panasonic. It's a little Panasonic Handycam, but it's a full high definition camera. The reason why I got this one was particularly because it's got an external microphone socket. And the secret of things like video is things like lighting and sound more than anything else. If you've got some good lighting and sound, you'll have a professional video. So that's why we go on the day. We talk about, what camera to use, what lighting to use, what microphones to use, how you actually record sound on film, and that sort of thing. And then we talk about editing and we talk about everything that you actually need to create monster video. Really, really top quality video for very, very cheap and very, very expensive. I mean, one of the editing softwares that I use, which I'm using almost every day now, costs something in the region of $100. It's about £74. It's absolutely no cash for a business, but it's stunningly good. I mean, it's high definition. You can create video which is good enough to put onto a high definition television. Again, the quality nowadays is huge, and the cost is so small, and anybody can do this, and that's the whole point of it. It's what we find is when I'm talking to small business owners or entrepreneurs or small businesses, the SME marketplace, that sort of thing. Once they start getting into this, they don't stop. And consequently, what happens is they start creating a high number of videos, which just is what I call exponential marketing. Because unlike things like newspapers or magazines, I mean, a newspaper lasts for a day. A magazine lasts for maybe a month. A video will be found on YouTube for years. And the more you put on there, the higher they get ranked. So, it's people who have actually taken it up and are using it are getting huge amount of traffic driven to their sites, and the conversions are going up, and consequently they're making more money. And that is, as I keep on going back to, is the bottom line for all of us. You know what it's like. Every business is out there to make a profit, and we need to get our message out to as many people as we possibly can. And video is a stunningly good way of doing it, which is exactly the reason why we're doing this whole day.
Excellent stuff. That sounds absolutely awesome. One thing that cropped into my head, actually, something
Yes.
I'd like to know. Host videos. Is it expensive now?
Well, YouTube's free, so for most of the things you're going to be doing, you're going to be putting it on things like YouTube. But there are sometimes, it's like when we're doing video for membership sites, for instance, or if there's videos that you don't want to go onto YouTube for any reason, which could be training videos, internal training videos, or as I say, membership style videos. Hosting can be expensive unless you know the right places to go. And again, it's one of those things we're going to be sharing the sort of the lowest priced hosting, professional hosting that every single professional uses. So we're going to be sharing exactly what that is, how you go about doing it. And it is incredibly cheap. It is incredibly cheap. We have literally hundreds and hundreds of hours a month go out. People will look in videos. We've got quite a few membership sites, and we've got a lot of people on those membership sites all watching videos. And our hosting, if we have a bill for more than say $30 a month, we think that's insane. So even if you've got a lot of videos privately hosted, we can show you ways of making it very, very, very cheap. So, come along to the day and we'll share all that information with you.
Good stuff. Well, I have to say, it sounds awesome. It sounds absolutely awesome. Andy, when is the next day on?
We've got a day on the 12th of February, and I'm very glad to say that you're going to be hosting it for us as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No, it's going to. I think it's going to be great with you hosting it, me delivering the content, and we've put these days on before, and they've just been so well received by businesses because it is one of those things that people see as some sort of dark art, and it's difficult and expensive, and this busts all those myths. But the most important thing, Gerry, is that the companies actually go away with a game plan. They understand what they're going to be doing, and they can actually implement this, and they know they can do it. And I think that's really the secret of it more than anything else. It's wonderful to see businesses and business owners, especially the small business owners, who don't have a lot of cash to spend on marketing, and to find a way of doing a very, very cheap route marketing, which is so effective. Much more effective than newspapers and magazines and radio and TV and all those sort of things. The sort of marketing that we can do for very, very little cost is exactly what people are looking for. So if you've got a business and you want to get your message out there, then using video and using the internet to deliver that information is huge. Because let's face it, everybody's on the internet nowadays. Their customers are all on the internet. They're all on social media. We show you, some of the reasons why we use social media, and video and social media is massive at the moment, especially with things like Google Plus and Facebook and all those sort of things, because that's where your customers are. If you think about it, there's 750 million people on YouTube. You can bet your life your clients are sitting on YouTube and Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter. And if you're not using the social media platforms to deliver your information to targeted audiences, then you're missing out a massive, massive trick. And it doesn't cost you anything to do it. It takes some time to do. It doesn't cost money. It takes some time. But it doesn't take that much time. In fact, you can trip a lot of this stuff off automatically, which is magic. It's a wonderful way of doing it. But it's a great way of getting your message across very, very quickly in a media that people actually want to see it. As opposed to something written down. It's a great way of doing it.
Good stuff. Excellent stuff. Well, Andy Phillips, thank you very much for that.
Gerry, it's been a pleasure, mate.
It's been awesome. I've learned so much in the last 15 minutes, guys, that...
Just imagine what you're going to learn on the day.
And Sunday the 12th of February 2012.
Yep.
And any idea on it's going to be around the Heathrow area, Andy?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a Heathrow. We're getting the hotel sorted out right now. We actually do quite a lot of stuff around the Heathrow area, and it's really just having a chat with a few people who can do us give us the best deals. You know, what we want is comfort for our delegates more than anything else. We want good surroundings and just to make it a really good chilled day where people can actually learn rather than worrying about parking and all those sort of things. So we've got a lot of great contacts around Heathrow. We've been doing those, seminars and workshops around there for the last 10 years. So we're very well known around there, and we can get some good deals. And we're looking for comfort for our clients more than anything else.
Good stuff. Sounds awesome.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait actually because there's so much I need to learn myself. So. It's perfect, and it's February, it's going to be springtime, and we're going to be away west of November and December, so it's going to be immense. Anybody want any information, please go to gerryhogan.co.uk/events, click on Andy's link, and it'll take you to the page.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gerry.
You're more than welcome. Thanks, Andy.
Speak to you soon.
Cheers now. Bye.
Bye-bye.